Tyron, how does it feel to be starting a new chapter in your career?
I feel it's great. Honestly, it feels great. I feel like it's this timing is actually great. You know, moving on to something new, and ever since I got here, everybody's been welcoming and getting me up to speed how everything is done here, and it's been great so far.
What goes into the process of moving, finding a new team? And then also, you got a family. We're just talking about it off the air before we started the pod, that those people are going to have to experience a lot of changes as well.
Yeah, with the whole process and everything, I leave that to my agent as far as where I should go, since he knows more about that than I do. And for them, it sucks. The part that do suck about it is, me coming here, it's hard on the kids,
right?
And that's the thing that's breaking my heart, because it's less time with the kids, but as we all know, this business is a lot of sacrifice in order to get where we need to get to. And so my kids understand, and they understand that has to work. So
13 years in Dallas.
Yeah.
You guys played the Jets early last season. If I would have told you maybe after that game, hey man, you're going to be lining up in green and white next year, what would you have thought?
At the time, I probably would have never believed it.
Yeah.
I thought at the moment that I would have finished my career in Dallas. But we all know how this game goes. It's just, you never know what can happen, and it's a business. And so, you get an opportunity to go somewhere else, and then, you try to get the ring somewhere else. So
you're 33. You're going to be 34 in December. But do you feel like a rookie again in some respects?
No, no. I wake up every morning. I still, those years remind you that you're 14 now. But it's just the energy. Waking up is the excitement of coming to work and be around the guys, and learn something new that I haven't learned before. And so,
how much do you enjoy this aspect of it? Like, you didn't have to be out here in voluntary workouts. That's not part of the CBA, but you were out here all the time.
Yeah.
And now the off season's wrapping up with mandatory minicamp.
Yeah. I think I explained it earlier to somebody that, in Dallas, we kind of started a little bit early as far as like captain workouts, and captains running the workouts like around March. And, we continue on for off-season program, OTAs and minicamp, and, majority of the guys is always there. And that's how we was always kind of brought up being in Dallas is, just be there for the, being there for the offseason. Kind of you want to be there with the guys. They make it welcoming that you want to be there working with your guys and learning something new. And so.
Do you live in the gym? I mean, Salo was saying the other day, we were talking about it, that he was looking at you in the weight room. Robert Salo's walking by, and there's Tyron on the bench. He's just repping up 400 plus like it's nothing. Like, he does 135. Now, Salo is kind of downplaying himself a little bit because he's a strong guy himself. But do you live in the weight room?
I enjoy getting stronger. I love the aspect that, like, the more you work in the weight room, the stronger you'll get. And I love that aspect. You see the results after working hard in the weight room, that you feel stronger. And for me, I just don't want to lose. I don't ever lose that. I always want to feel like I'm pushing heavy weight. And so,
has it always come easy to you? Don't take that the wrong way, because that's not to say you're not putting in the work.
No,
but as far as your strength is concerned,
no. For me, growing up, I could never really put on weight, so I had to lean on strength. So, like, even in high school, I was a skinny guy, and so like only thing I could lean on was my strength. So I just built up much muscle as I possibly could, and in my head, I always try to tell myself I want to be the strongest guy out there on the field. And so I knew I couldn't gain weight, so I might as well try to gain muscle. And so for me, over the years, I just tried not to lose that aspect of it.
So how lean were you in high school before you actually took off and went to USC from 08 to 10?
I was like 250. Just
oh, really?
Skinny.
And you couldn't put on weight?
Couldn't put on weight. Then went to USC, put on like 20 pounds playing there. But it was still just straight, just muscle. Yeah. And but also in college, didn't have the funds to eat like how I should.
Right.
And so I'm sitting there eating McDonald's and Taco Bell and Del Taco and everything, just trying to, and that still didn't even put on weight.
So body fat wise, can I ask you like what your percentage is? Because you're walking around a hallway here, you look like a receiver who just was just 6'5", 3 what?
310.
310. And you look like you're about 5%. I don't know.
No, it's actually been a while since I checked it, but I want to say probably the last time was probably around 15 or 16%.
Really? How has your workout regimen changed in terms of when you broke into the league compared to what you're doing now?
Let's see, when I got in the league, it was kind of just, we had a guy in Dallas named Mike Wojcik. He kind of trained me, and like he was there by my side every step of the way. And he's always just challenged me. Like when I go to the weight room, it's like a challenge.
Yeah.
And he's always just, like little fake bets, like here and there. I bet you 100,000 you can't get this weight up right now. And so he's like, I was like, are you challenging me? And so that kind of just stuck with me. And so even when I come here, I still came to keep that same aspect of like, he's in the back of my head. I need to like lift more. I need to be stronger. And like, I need to try to get this extra rep in just to feel that little strain. Yeah.
What exercises do you like doing the most?
I like a little bit of everything, honestly. I'm always interested in trying to find something new that could help out or anything like that. So.
What music you listen to in there when you're clanging around the weights?
So I know the younger guys got their, their kind of newer music they listen to now. But for me, I have no problem listening to like old school R&B.
Yeah.
And just kicking back and like just getting my work in. Yeah.
Okay, so I wanted to ask you, going back, and we talked about you at USC a little bit and coming out. You number 9 overall selection by the Cowboys in 2011, but let's go way back. Where do you get your work ethic from? Because you started out as a kid, long hours, right?
Yeah. So when I was younger, ever since I was like 5 or 6 years old, we had a family janitorial business. And, we took pride in our, what we did because, the better we did our job, the more work we'll get. And so, pay wasn't great. We fairly struggled growing up. But, for me, I knew that, we do the job well, we'd get another job that, I'm cleaning windows outside of a building. I didn't make sure I'm the best window cleaner out there that you ever seen.
Right.
And I took pride in that. If it's any little streak or anything like that, I'm just like, wait, hold on, this ain't done yet. You got to look at different angles and things like that, or clean or carpet cleaner or anything like that. You got to make sure it's done right. And so for me, it was, high school, I'll play a game on Friday night. Next day, Saturday morning, we're driving to a long destination for work somewhere. It could be like go to Sacramento or Arizona for a job, and not really any kind of rest or anything like that. And so it's kind of taught you that mindset of, nobody really cares how tired you are because you still got to do the work.
Do you carry that mindset on the field?
Yeah, because nobody's feeling sorry for you.
And when you're talking about your family, as far as the business is concerned, how many of you were going from place to place as far as the travel is concerned?
So it was, me, my mom, and my mom's ex-husband, my stepdad at the time, and then I had my stepbrother, stepsister, and then my little sister. She didn't work. She kind of just stayed out of the way, and then it was just us grinding away.
Yeah.
And then we might have a couple other family members coming in to kind of help out here and there, but other than that, it was just us. And so we'll go, like say, we'll drive to Arizona, 4-hour drive, go clean a building, and then get right back on the road, come back home. And so like plans to do things over the weekends or hang out with friends, that work came first. And so, and hanging out with friends came last. And so we got back in time from after work, and the next day, then you can go hang out with your friends. But at that point, you're done. You're just exhausted.
What would your friends say? What would your buddies say?
We were having like a little get together at the house, or you want to come over and play video games. I'm sorry, gotta hit the road this weekend. And now, like growing up, all my friends kind of understood, and then, but that was just how things were.
Where did your craftsmanship come along as far as the way you approach the game out there in the field? Because the first word that comes to my mind when watching you is you're an effortless mover, and then also master technician.
Yeah. I got to give a lot of respect to Bill Callahan. He early in my career, he just gave me that mindset of like how to approach the game and like how to study the game. and how to read things while I'm on the field, and like just technique wise, he harped on a lot of technique. And Bill Callahan was here,
Right?
and
Yeah.
so
Legendary offensive line coach, one of the best ever, no doubt.
And so he instilled in me that like everything was just second memory, or muscle memory. I mean, and even when we were tired after practice, we got to continue working on something after practice.
Right.
And it's he instilled in your mind that it's always something else. It's always something to work on. Even if the worst thing is you say in your head that you got it, because you're never going to just have it. And it's always something new you can learn, because as this game goes, it always switches up different rushers and things like that, different people you go against. So you got to have something that you could have to battle against that. And then I got lucky enough to have another guru last year with Solari.
Yeah.
And so, he was so, about helping his guys and making sure that the technique was right and everybody was on the same page, but he wanted to make sure everybody was going to be great. And he wasn't going to feel like he did his job and everybody wasn't great. And so he did everything in his power to help everybody out.
We talked about your strengths.
Mm-hmm.
Your striking.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're one of the best strikers that we've ever seen. Tell me some stories about your hands and the way you've used them over the years.
Honestly, I gotta kind of go back to Bill. He just taught us, it's all confidence, because everybody can have a strike, but it's all the technique of the strike and having your feet planted in the ground but still able to move while punching, and placement of the hands and things like that. And so, honestly, the more of the thing is like with like placement of the hands or striking or anything like that, you just gotta have confidence, because everybody, no matter who you are or how strong you are, you play long and have you confidence in your hands, you can have that strike. But you just gotta have confidence in it.
Yeah, but your strike's different.
It just, honestly, it's probably just experience over the years. Just know how to handle certain things.
When you get your hands on somebody, what's going on in your mind when you have that initial shot and you have your hands on somebody?
Block them forever, because you never know how long the quarterback's gonna hold the ball. And we had a saying, last year, only you're one out of 11, and that saying kind of stuck with me, that like, once you have your guy blocked up, that like, why let him go?
Yeah.
Because you don't know what's going on behind you, and you don't know what's going on down the field. Your focus is to handle that guy right there in front of you.
Do you hear a whistle when you're out there?
Sometimes. Other than sometimes I don't. And I just keep going until like, all right, chill. And it's kind of, you gotta have that mindset to kind of not play at the whistle, but play through the whistle.
How much pride do you take in the fact that, hey, I got the quarterback's blind side.
Yeah.
I had Dak last few years in Dallas. Now I got Aaron behind me.
I just know that like the team, the quarterback, and everybody's dependent on the O-line and D-line to set the tone of the game. And for us as an O-line, whoever's back there, they need to know that we have their back no matter what, and we're gonna give everything it takes up front. So,
as far as being in there in the trenches, take me inside.
Yeah.
Are you a guy who is gonna tell somebody you're in for a long day vocally, or you're just?
I don't talk.
You don't say anything.
I don't say anything. I'm not one of those big rah-rah guys and like talking and everything like that. I like staying neutral and just focus on the job I need to get done. Because if I'm up here, then I'm all gonna be all out of whack.
Right.
Yeah, and the best thing is to always try to stay neutral as possible, and because you never know what could happen in the game, and you just gotta have that mindset.
Do you think, even if you didn't play football, that you were gonna be successful no matter what you did, because that mindset coming back from being part of that janitorial business way back when with your family, whatever profession you chose, Tyron Smith was going to excel at it?
Yeah. My fiance kind of gives me a hard time. She was like, "You just love working, don't you?" I say, "Yeah." I said, I feel a little uncomfortable if I'm just sitting around not doing anything.
You get anxious?
A little bit. I just feel like I need to be doing something instead of just sitting around.
Right.
I need to accomplish something, at least a couple things throughout the day, like to feel like I did something. And yeah, if I was doing something else, I'll be the best at it at that job, more than anybody. And so it's just for me, it's got a lot of pride more than anything.
No doubt about that. The striking, the playing through the whistle, but also the feet. How important are the feet for any offensive lineman? And with you, watching you out there on the practice field throughout OTAs, here at the start of mandatory minicamp, there is no wasted movement. It looks like a teach tape.
Well, as you get older, you can't waste a movement at all. And for me, and like I'm like detailed as far as like looking at film. Why was I a tick late on this, or why wasn't I in a good position for this part? And then I started looking at this, started from the ground up, started looking at the feet. Like I had a waste movement in my feet. I kind of rocked a little bit, and like gotta take that out. Even if it's like less than a second, you gotta get every advantage you can. And so with the feet and everything like that, and as far as like pass pro, your feet can't stop. And especially with these type of rushers nowadays, it's a lot of fast, speed rushers and things like that. Guys like to move around, jump around nowadays. And your feet can't stop because they're waiting on it.
Right.
And then you're trying to set up a move for you so you can stop your feet so they can work and move off of it. That's a D lineman wants you to stop your feet because they have a free go.
But how have you avoided penalties? Because when I say that, I mean it complimentary, because your grip is legendary and you never let the guy go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, Can you
talk about the art there?
It's certain like things that, like, you of course you have your hands outside, it's holding.
Yep.
But it's different when you got a guy kind of viced up on the inside and kind of just I don't know. It's just more of you gotta have good grip strength, but like you gotta have your hands in the right place and be smart about it and stay in front of your guy.
Yeah.
And the guy's kind of like it happened to me a couple times that like guy gets away from me, I'm still hooked onto him, and then like get a holding call. But like when you gripped into those pads, you got to stay in front of them and keep your feet moving, and do something in your tool belt to kind of take his power out.
Right.
But it's just I could go the whole like long thing on how to like do this technique, but like, you just got to have your feet settled.
But the grip strength, where does that come from? You're naturally gifted. You're living in the weight room, but also, does that go back to childhood as well? The grip.
Maybe a bit, yeah. So growing up, we worked a lot, but also like we did a lot of yard work. And so for me as a kid, even then I looked at everything as a challenge. Like, yeah, we're like doing our own work in the backyard, building something in the backyard, and got to carry dirt back and forth to the front and the back. And I'm like, load this wheelbarrow as much as you can. I'm like, I'll see how much I can carry. And, for me, that was just me just being weird, because I always feel like I love to like feel like I'm strong. And I guess a little bit that part of that comes from that. And for me, it's just, after a while, like you got to do everything it takes to make sure that guy doesn't get to the QB. And no matter if your fingers get messed up like mine's are a little bit already, just a little small sacrifice to make sure you get the win.
8-time Pro Bowler, 5-time All-Pro, 2010 NFL All-Decade team. What keeps you going at this level at this point in your career? Because a lot of guys, frankly, would say, hey, man, I've had a hell of a career. I've had maybe a Hall of Fame career right now. If I put a period at the end of the sentence, Tyron Smith, you can make the argument, this guy's a Hall of Famer. What keeps you going right now?
Honestly, the love of the game. There's no job like this anywhere. And, for, some of us on the team that haven't got one yet, we're still chasing that ring. And, if you see opportunity that you could possibly get one, then why not take it? What
do you think about the talent assembled out here? You've played on a lot of talented clubs yourself. Yeah. You were just in the playoffs last year. I think you've played 9 postseason games throughout your career. What do you think about the Jets, your new team?
I see a very high potential of them to, be something great. And, I feel like we're forming it out there in this off season. And I think a lot of guys realize what we can do, and we just got to stay together in this off season, leading into the training camp, and continue working on the field and pushing each other, and just showing that we could be something great on the field.
What's your best Rodgers story so far? I know his locker's next to you. Can you share?
Honestly, for me, it's just being in Dallas, just knowing what Rodgers did to us. A couple of years, him being there in Green Bay. And so, he, broke our hearts a couple times, 14 and 16. Those are the kind of years that kind of
still think about those, huh?
Still sting. Those couple of years sting. But I know that he is, something great, and he has the knowledge and the wisdom of the game that nobody else has. And I know that, if you're on the same page as him, then a lot of great things can happen.
Left to right, what do you think about the projected starters here? Yourself at left tackle, John Simpson at left guard, Joe Tippmann at center, AVT, a fellow USC alum at right guard, and then, of course, Morgan Moses over there at right tackle.
Yeah. I feel like we got a good group of guys on the line, and good, strong group of guys, honestly. Very intelligent group of guys. And, me and Morgan, what we bring to it, we got, guys that's been in the game for a long time.
Right.
And, everybody has a little piece they can add to this. And, honestly, I'm excited because everybody's willing to work. And even on the field, if everybody has a question about anything, nobody's like, shying away from asking questions. And we're all together on this as far as making sure you get it solved before we go back on the field.
Right.
And so,
how beneficial do you think spring was for Olu Fashanu, Carter Warren, just coming out here, Max Mitchell, those guys? Because we've talked about like AVT working his way back, Morgan working his way back, those guys getting some reps out here.
Honestly, these guys impressed me. And looking at their, how they played last year, as far as we look at tape in our room, of last year's tape, and then how to correct it for this year. And those guys have, just from watching the film, that like I could tell they just made a huge improvement for this offseason, and they're out there grinding every day to make sure they have it right. Yeah,
you can see Carter Warren taking strides. I know you weren't here last year, but he's a young buck, and then Max benefiting, and you got some depth pieces there. Wes Schweitzer. I wanted to ask you about AVT though.
Yeah.
What's your relationship with him? Obviously, you went to USC well before him, but
yeah, we never really got to really like sit down and talk, before I came here, but I could tell that he's just itching to come back onto the field right now. But he's grinding away in the rehab things that he's doing right now, and then he's in the in the O-line room with us, still continue learning. But I could tell that he's just watching the film from when he was healthy and playing, that he's a beast. And he's healthy. He's unstoppable type of guy. Speaking of beasts, what do you think about that running back behind you in Breece Hall? What he was able to do last year, and then the potential now with a healthy Rodgers, some reinforcements up front like yourself. It makes you excited for the run game, and excited to block for these guys. And as O-lineman, you got guys back there like that. If that don't excite you, I don't know what will. So we got to come full circle here. You're a Jet. You're coming east. You were in Dallas for 13 years. You grew up in California. You went to SC. What do you think the match, not just here in the organization, but you coming to New York? Because everything that you're about is putting a hard hat on and going to work. Yeah. And this is what this city was built on. Yeah. Yeah. No, you guys, it's built something great here. I'm trying to figure out how to answer the question, but yeah, it's with any kind of football team, it's like you said, it's putting a hard hat on. For me, it's just different. For me, being in Dallas for so long, and coming to the East Coast and being a part of a team, it's just for me, it was just like forget them. You got the Giants over there. But it kind of shows you a different different mindset. when you come here, as far as like you could tell the city is backing this team.
Yeah.
And you could tell this, everybody around here is excited for what we can do.
How you feel physically?
Feel great.
Okay, so let's end here. Repping out.
Mm-hmm.
We asked you about the bench before. So if you were just heading in there right now, what are you doing on the bench?
Today was kind of like just kind of keeping the strength up, kind of just, a little light reps, but today was just 3 reps of 315 and then like 365 and then finish it on 405. So I could just feel that little the heaviness.
How about squat?
Squat, you're going to learn as you get older. You don't squat the same way.
Right. Yeah.
And so you lean on a lot more. You still do a double leg squat, but you lean on heavier squats for like single legs.
Okay.
And so you have that functional movement, but you also, strengthen your leg individually. But you still go kind of heavy on that. So like you go 2 plates over 2 plates just on a single leg and
single leg.
You feel like you're getting some kind of work in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite exercise in there?
I love squatting, what they allow me to do for squatting. I love benching. But I love like the little small things that go along with it. You got the auxiliaries as far as like little shorter workouts or, a little movement here and there. Because like I feel like the little small, stuff that not that major workouts, but like the small stuff that goes along with it is going to keep you healthy for the long run.
And you're always looking for small ways to get better.
Yeah.
What's the summer looking like for you once this camp concludes?
So we got finished up mini camp this week. Spend some time with the kids. During the summer break. Get married next month, and get ready for camp.
That's awesome. A lot of exciting things happen in your life. You talked about new chapter here, joining the Jets, new chapter, getting married.
Yeah.
And then the kids obviously going to have a new home as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tyron, this was a blast. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Thanks for having me.